Everybody's talking about the hottest radio show in the UK.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kanye West.
Hey, what's up? This is Mary J. Blige.
Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B.
Actually, the mix is great.
I drive and listen to music.
Because they have the best variety of music.
Because then it's everything you like.
Get in contact with DJ Donnie B at Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B at yahoo.com. Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B at yahoo.com.
Storm FM. Find us at www.stormfm.uk. Contact us at stormfm@yahoo.com or text us on 07703 778306. Storm FM. Storm FM. Storm FM.
All right, y'all. You are tuned in to one of the hottest shows right here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon in the UK. I am your man, world famous DJ Donnie B. I am your radio host, and we have a very special guest. We've been talking about him all this week, and guess what? We have Mr. Jones with us. George Floyd Uncle is live with us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. How you doing?
Hello, UK. Hello, Donnie B. How are you?
Man, I cannot complain, man. We're very excited about having you on the program. I've been seeing some of the commercials you did with Channel 49 TV, man, with different people, man. But we're very excited to have you on the show with us, man. First of all, man, tell us who is Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones is a sad uncle. Mm-hmm. He's a sad black man. He's a sad man. And he's just an old man that woke up one morning and happened to glance on the television and was not in shock by the things that happen in the world because these are normal things. Mm-hmm. To look on television and see a black man getting tormented and terrorized and getting disrespected and humiliated.
Right.
But at this particular incident, it was my big sister's baby boy. Mm-hmm. And since May the 26th of 2020, I have been absolutely obsessed with making the world a better place with my voice.
Right.
And, you know, man, it's just... I looked around the world, and the world, not just Dallas, not just Houston, not North Carolina, not Chicago, but in England and Bangladesh and Bangkok, the whole world for 3 days said, we're not going to take it. Right. And the whole world spoke in unity. There's power in armies.
Yes.
And the army of the world made a decision that they had to agree with.
Right.
And that decision was, we're going to make a change. And ever since that day, there has been an uncle that can't stop talking, won't stop talking.
Right.
And I'm going to make the world a better place and a different place by just telling a real story, by just being a real person in this world that wants a different way of life for people of all races.
I love that.
You know?
Mr. Jones, let's talk about this. Let's talk about, because I think what's going on is the media has painted this bad picture of George Floyd. Let's talk about who was George Floyd before all of this happened. Was he a family man? Let's talk about his personal life. How many people who loved George Floyd? Let's talk about that. Who was George Floyd?
Everybody that's ever met Big Perry. Hey, first of all, they called him. His name was George Floyd, but if you knew him, you called him Perry.
Okay.
And Perry was the stereotypical black man born in poverty in a poor place. Pretty much what he was a real human being. If he saw you out of gas, he'd pick you up.
Wow.
You know, if he saw you in a store, he'd talk to you, he'd laugh with you, because laughter is free. Mm-hmm. There's never been a charge on laughter.
So true.
And we know how to negotiate people with laughter.
Right.
Showing the good side, showing a good heart, God-fearing person, love his family, love his mama. Mm-hmm. But everybody in this, there's a lot of people in this world that have been overlooked with that mental health issue.
So
and
true.
having demons is still a mental health issue. And he was one of the 10 million people in this world that just needed a helping hand or needed somebody to help him address the demons that he was fighting. You know?
Wow.
And he was a good dude, man. The dude that you seen in that store before he got taken outside is how we are. Same person as I am. I want to laugh and joke
Right.
and make people around me feel wonderful because of the presence that I bring.
Right.
And you know, the media has tainted him. Well, not really the media. Certain individuals have painted him as a bad dude.
Right.
There is a lot of people in this world that have demons or issues that they don't paint as bad people. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean it should follow you
Right.
your whole life.
Right. I definitely
You know?
agree with you on that.
And you know, man, he moved from Houston to Minneapolis to make a change,
Right.
a different way in the world.
Wow.
And you know, my sister died, and it broke his heart. And we talked all the time, and he battled and he fought. And at the end of the day, I look at it in a certain way. I think that I call them quasars.
Okay.
The quasars had to line up on May the 20th. Derek Chauvin had to be there. Dondella Frazier, which is a beautiful human being,
Okay.
very courageous young lady, had to be there. And George Floyd had to be there. And what happened on that particular day, you can call it divine intervention, you can call it a hate crime, you can call it a very disappointing situation. I call it the Lord's way of saying, George Floyd, we are going to make you the person that we've never had in this world, to make the whole world stand up and go, wow. And I'm proud to say that I am that 12 billion and one person to be his uncle. I am sad that my nephew had to leave us. But my nephew gave us an opportunity. He gave Uncle Sherwin an opportunity to make this world a better place.
Right.
All the police reform, you know, all of the minds that were stuck on one particular race was a better race. One particular race had to discourage, oppress, depress another race.
Right.
Everybody in the world stood up and said, we are not going to take this.
Right.
And the world made a decision to make Derek Chauvin and his gang of thugs
Let me ask
have
you.
to be accountable.
Let me ask you this also. Was George Floyd married? Did he have kids?
He's got some babies.
Okay.
Everybody knows about his little daughter. He changed the world.
Okay.
George Floyd was a beautiful human being. At 46 years old, he probably had 10% body fat.
Wow.
So he liked the girls. I reckon it's that cute thing. You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to survive. He had a little fiance out there in Minneapolis. I think everybody's seen her, Courtney Ross. And, you know, he was trying to make a difference. He was trying to change his life and come to the real world because he was still suffering and mourning over his mom.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, man, you know how brothers are. Brothers love their mamas. Their mamas is the apple of their eye.
My mom is. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, my mom is still talking to me every day. She said, "Boy, be quiet, hush, stop."
My mom's 72, and she's still around. Matter of fact, she got my son over there right now.
Well, hey, man, that's what grannies do. That's what we're missing.
Yeah.
Because now, in this age and era that we live in now, the grandmama's 35.
Yeah, they are.
The grandmama's 35. The daughter is 16. And
but
we don't have that grandmama.
You can't tell the difference between the mom and the grandma at all. I mean,
nope. So we don't have that. We don't have that grand that we used to have. That you could go over to her house and she could put that foot down and she could look at your foot and say, "Boy, you know the deal."
Yeah, you know the deal here. So right. You sure
So,
right.
you know, man, we need empathy. We need love. We need more grandmamas. We need people to be accountable for themselves
Right.
and to make that step into a world of peace.
Mr. Jones.
Because we got a lot of hatred and anger in this world.
Yeah, you're right. Mr. Jones, let's talk about this too. Let's talk about George Floyd growing up. How was he growing up? We talk about from a child all the way to his teenage years.
He was a happy kid. You know, dear, when you grew up, once again, we grew up poor. He grew up in the ghetto poor. I grew up in the country poor. No indoor plumbing, no running water. So we used our athletic ability to make a difference.
Right.
And he was a hard-headed, naughty-head boy. He should have combed his hair more, but you know, all black kids need to comb their hair more.
My son like that.
right now. But now it's fashionable to be naughty-headed. You know what I'm saying? But he was just a normal kid, a normal young man. Yes, ma'am. No, sir.
Right.
And he just was foot in Third Ward, Texas. And my sister had to struggle and fight for everything she'd ever had.
Wow.
You know, and he had a good heart and a good soul. He just made a couple of mistakes. And, you know, life is about decisions, whether you make the wrong ones or the right ones. And nobody's perfect.
Right, exactly.
And he was a wonderful young man, excellent high school athlete, one of the best in the country. Him and Steven Jackson were teammates. And he was a better baller than Steven Jackson, which played for the Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
You know, which played for San Antonio. And he just made a decision that if he could have redid, he would have stayed in college. But because you're the oldest boy of a family and you see your mama suffering, everybody wants to help.
Right. That's true.
And the decision he made to drop out of school and come home to help his mama, he could have evaluated that a lot more. And that was one of the turning points in life. And, you know, man, disappointment is a huge thing.
Right.
You can lie to anybody else in the world. But once you break your own heart and you realize that you lied to yourself, that's a battle.
Mr. Jones, don't go nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere.
We're going to take a quick break. When we
Gotta
come
pay
back,
the bills. Pay the bills.
Yes, and when we come back, Mr. Jones, I want to talk to you because we got a lot of people tuning into us on the radio right now. I want to talk to you about what was going on through your head when they had the trial on this year. I want to talk to you about that. Don't go nowhere. We're going to talk to you about that next. You tune in to us right here on the hottest show. It's the Lunch Cafe radio show in the UK. We're also being broadcast in Texas, all across the U.S. Right
Donnie
here
B.
on
Donnie
Stone FM. Yes, sir.
Donnie B.
That's
I'm
right.
hollering your name. Donnie B.
I like
hitting
it.
it on with Uncle Sir.
Thank you. We'll be right back, y'all.
Everybody's talking about the hottest radio show in the UK.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kanye West.
Hey, what's up? This is Mary J. Blige.
Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B.
We play your new and old R&B, funk, and soul.
Good afternoon, Donnie. Let's have a look at what's going on along the South Coast.
Everybody's talking about the hottest radio show in the UK.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kanye West.
Hey, what's up? This is Mary J. Blige.
Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B.
Actually, the mix is great.
I drive and listen to music.
Because they have the best variety of music.
Because then it's everything you like.
Get in contact with DJ Donnie B at Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B at yahoo.com. Lunch Cafe with DJ Donnie B at yahoo.com.
All right, y'all. We are back here on Lunch Cafe. I am your man, world famous DJ Donnie B. We still got my man. You got to be one of the best guests so far that I have had. I only been on the radio 3 weeks, man. You are one of the best guests. What you think about that, man?
It's gonna be hard to compete with me, man.
I know it is.
It's gonna be hard to compete with me. I got the energy.
Yes, you
I got
do.
the old school flavor, and
you know what, man?
Got a heart.
What I like about you, man, I mean, I don't have to be this person. I can just be myself with you. I don't have to just pretend to be this person, man. And you make it so comfortable for me to. It's almost like me and you in the same kitchen. And we
got to always be real.
Yeah,
always.
You're right. I agree with you.
Always got to be real. You always got to be true to yourself, man.
Oh man, no doubt, no doubt. So let's talk about this too, Mr. Jones. The trial was this year, and I want to know. What was the first day of the trial? What was going on through your head? And also your family. What was going on through their head? What was y'all thinking at that particular time? Oh no, we talking about the first day of the trial. What was going on through your head?
The first day of the trial, I was called at 10 o'clock the night before. Selwyn, you need to be in court tomorrow. You get to be the first one in the courtroom.
Wow.
And it was absolutely surreal that, I have seen somebody that I changed a diaper, that I had beat up, that I had played with, that I had communicated with, that I had talked to my whole life as my baby boy.
Wow.
And I get to see all these people standing in the courthouse talking about what and who he was.
Wow.
And you saw people in there that did not have a soul, a heart. Because my man is just like Ahmaud Arbery. If you're going to tell me that they should be having a trial about 3 white guys or 3 black guys or any guys, if I look behind me and I see 3 people riding in a truck with guns out and they try to say it's self-defense when he gets killed in the middle of the street by 3 vigilantes. My man, I've been black for 55 years. I've been dealing with racism, systemic racism. I've been dealing with hatred. I've been dealing with bigotry because of the color of my skin or how I sign. And when I was looking on television, I saw everybody around the world that had a heart. The heart of people is the one that put those guys in that courtroom. It wasn't legislation, because I'm not mad at individuals. I'm mad at a system that gives them the right to hurt, to kill, to do anything they want to because of qualified immunity and because of the color of their skin, to continue to hurt people. That's one of the things that I thought about. Wow. And I went from thinking about, oh my God, when is this going to change for our people, for the world? And I went immediately on, let's hope the judicial system does what it is supposed to do and incarcerate criminals. And on the last day, when we got the verdict, I was riding in the vehicle, and Donnie B, I honestly thought that they wouldn't. I didn't think he was going to be sentenced. My personal thoughts was, I didn't think that they were going to find him guilty because of how the way the world has been. Normal is people continuing to kill black people. That's normal. Abnormal was they put their foot down, and they didn't put their foot down. The world put their foot down. Because they knew that if they did not do the right thing, that the people of the world was going to have a reaction. So you know what, man? There's power in the people. So I believe that we can make a change. I can believe that I can be the leader of the free world to make a change by hearing a real story of a real man that had a real heart, that was a father, an uncle, a nephew, and was just a human being.
So was the family that was another thing I was going to ask you. Was the family pleased with the verdict?
Everybody is pleased with a guilty verdict in that particular situation. I myself, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, but it didn't matter because I can't bring Perry back.
Right.
And I was expecting that he would have a different situation. So I left from worried about if the guy was going to be incarcerated, and I started moving on with the change of people because there's a bigger picture here. Right. And the bigger picture is my nephew. You've seen a man go from talking and laughing, begging, crying, and dying. And COVID put us in a situation where everybody in the world was sitting in front of their televisions, and the whole world seeing what we have, as Black people, have been professing our whole life.
Yes.
The whole world got a chance to see just how bad, just how violent, just how vicious people can be to people of other colors. So we had something that come from this that will never, ever happen again. And it was the beginning of a potential change of a better world.
Let's talk about this too, man, because on that particular day that the police officer murdered George Floyd, what was going on through your head when he kept saying he can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and begging for his mom, What? I mean, because I'm just talking about it. It hurts me. I just can't imagine a person begging for their mom and this evil officers doing what he's doing.
Donnie B, let me tell you something. I sat in front of my television and I walked in and I get my baby's dress, warm me up a couple of croissants, and I'm looking at another brother, just seen a Breonna Taylor, just seen a Ahmaud Arbery. And I'm from the South. I'm in South Dakota now. And every time I see a Black man getting maliciously and viciously assaulted and murdered by police officers, it hurts me coming down south because we had to go through a lot of bad things. Mm-hmm. And my sister called me and she said, "Did you see what the police did too?" I set my phone down, my man, and I was in the same situation that everybody else in the world was in. You had to wait, just like Perry had to suffer and watch a man die. Because we all know, once we seen that video, we knew that the Black man was going to die in this horror movie. Mm. You know that he didn't have a chance in the world to get up and walk away. And it snatched my heart out of my chest. And I didn't say anything. I didn't holler. I didn't scream. I sat there, and everything that anybody's ever said to me that was racist or disrespectful or humiliating, it all just flashed right before my eyes, and I watched my sister, baby boy, get tortured, get maliciously taken out of this world because of power and control. They were the judge, jury, and executioner on that day. And that changed my life. I went from being a motel owner, sitting in the parking lot, watching my little baby ride a go-kart, to saying, to just knowing that I got to do something to make this world a better place, because I've seen somebody that I loved wholeheartedly, one of my favorite people, same attitude as I had. Mm-hmm. I watched him die right before my eyes, with everybody else in the world, man. And let me tell you something, buddy. I see his face all the time.
Wow.
I hear his voice all the time. He acknowledged me as Uncle. It was never Uncle Selwyn. It was never his Uncle. What you doing, man? I watched my baby boy get riddled down from, like I said, talking and laughing, to begging, crying, and dying. Hmm. And, you know, when I watched the trial, Donnie B, I think the thing that broke my heart the most, besides all these people assassinating his character, was my nephew went to another world at 8:26 and 15 seconds. When his eyes fluttered, he left this world. And you know, man, I ain't never gonna be the same. I have got to take what my nephew gave me and put it to work. And I've been working ever since. Because, brother, let me tell you something. That will never leave your mind, your heart, and your soul. If you have a heart, your heart was revealed.
Right.
If you didn't have a heart, you are a demon. And there's a lot of hatred in this world. There's a lot of bigotry. There's a lot of ignorance. And, buddy, let me tell you something. What we saw was all of that, Donnie B. We've seen 430 years of a black man being dominated, power and control of another race. And what we saw is a modern day lynching. Because if you go back and pull up lynching photos, Donnie B, you'll never see a black man's feet on the ground.
Wow.
And you will always see people looking up at him like, look at this big kill. The sadistic look in his eyes told me where his heart was, where his soul was. And unfortunately, we got a lot of people in this world that have that same heart and that same soul. So there's two types of people, my man. There are people that can't read, and there are people that don't want to read. And the people that didn't want to read, he made them open the book. How he left this world, my brother. And yeah, man, it's I hate to say I'm gonna miss my nephew forever.
Wow.
But in the same breath, my nephew gave me an opportunity to make some things straight, and make a difference. And you know, man, I've been running ever since. Got a foundation going now. Hopeful, with a hopeful heart.
Okay.
And we are going to make it better on people that can't make it better, that can't help themselves, because most of the time people lose the battle.
Right.
Because they don't know how to fight for themselves. I want to make every baby. I want to help every young man. I want to help every child that is hungry, that has a mental issue, that's depression. Make this a better world, because we have to start with the kids, man.
That's right.
Because if we don't if we don't start with the kids, we're not going to win this battle, man. We're not, because we need to make our young men know that they're kings, princesses and kings. And people have put so much depression on young men that they don't know what and who they are. All they know is they just want to survive. The hearts of young folks today are a lot different than hearts were when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there was empathy, there was respect,
right,
there was integrity. And now it's easier to put yourself in a situation where you have to leave for life because of a minuscule situation.
Right.
And that we have to make better. We have to tell them, show them how to be men.
Right.
Show them how to be queens. Show them how you treat a woman. And most of all, we got to show them how to love yourself, because you can't love nobody. You can't help nobody until you can fix how you are.
That's right. Well, I tell you what,
you know,
I tell you what, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the radio show,
talking
to us over here in the UK, especially letting the UK listeners know how, what's going on here in America. I think it's important that we let other countries know what's going on here in America, and that way people can know exactly what's going on. I do want to ask you this real quick, man. Could you see yourself could you and your family see yourself in the future even forgiving the officer that did what he did?
You know what, man? The Lord said, please forgive them. They do not know what they do. And what I can tell you is this, brother, once again, I have no issues with man.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect.
Right.
But with the hate and anger that we have going in this world, it has nothing to do with genealogy. It has to do with the generation before you that taught you how to hate,
Mm-hmm.
how you to disrespect because of the color of your skin of an economic standard. You know?
Right.
So I generally care about everybody, love everybody. The only thing that Selwyn wants to do, Uncle Selwyn wants to do, is to show people
Right.
that there's everybody has an opportunity to make a right decision or wrong decision.
That's right.
Change is in the air, my man.
And speaking, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of that, I got one more quick question for you before we wrap this part of the show up. I want to talk about some of the laws that need to be changed. And also, Kanye West gave over $2 million to different organizations. And we heard that you guys got part of that money too. What's the plans with that money? Is that money going to go towards the nonprofit organization you have?
Our nonprofit is going to make a difference in this world, not just in America, all over the world. We are building our organization up to make a difference and change. Because, brother, when you travel as much as we travel and you see all the sadness that we see, homeless people staying in tents in metropolitan cities,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be an opportunity for those people to get in a better place. Because
Yes,
most of the
I
time, my
agree.
man, all people want to know is somebody care.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
A lot of times in this world, it's easier to shun people off and think of self
So
and
true.
not worry about the next person. And that's what we are on. We're on not passing anybody, but we can't help everybody in the world.
That's right.
But you know what, man? We can, the people that we are going to affect and help, we're going to bend over backwards and go wholeheartedly, because the thought of me remembering when I had to go hungry because my mom and my daddy weren't lazy, they weren't drug addicts, they weren't alcoholics. They were just born in a different place in this world.
Right.
And I want to end a lot of sadness for people of police brutality
Mm-hmm.
and for people of just difficult circumstances, man,
Right.
because we only come here, Donnie B, for a very short period of time,
That's
my brother.
right. That's right.
And all I want to do
It's be able
is
to
I
help
want to let people know that if there's a will, there's a way.
Let's talk about this real quick too. There's a bill that you guys are trying to get passed now. Do you have any update information about this new bill to be passed about police reform? Let's talk about that real quick.
George Floyd Policing Act. It was changed to George Floyd.
Okay. Okay.
And what I know is this, man, is we live in a world that sometimes pass certain people over.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen several bills passed since our bill has been produced. I wish and hope, and we've been waiting for 400 years, man, to get something passed that would protect us. And taking qualified immunity away from the police officers straps their hands a wee bit. Everybody wants to go home in a situation, but
Yes.
police officers are supposed to be de-escalating instead of
That's
escalating.
right. That's right.
So, you know, man, we're hoping that we still have a chance. As long as it's out in the Senate, we still have a chance. I myself believe that. I'm pushing it. I got to push it. I can't stop because
Right.
that will help every person, whether, hey, man, this is just simple with me. I believe in Black Lives Matter because my lives matter. I believe in White Lives Matter because their lives
That's
matter.
right. That's right.
I believe that all lives matter.
That's right.
So we just got to figure out a way that we can all make a difference. And making a difference means not to be quiet. Making a difference means speak your mind, go to meetings, organize community groups so we can stay together and make a better place and make this happen. One thing I'd like to say, I went down to Beebe, Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
young man, Caucasian guy, got killed by a local police officer. And it was the first situation where a Caucasian young man got killed. Now, this family used to heckle all the protests that they were having for my nephew and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. Mm-hmm. And they were counter protesters. And their grandson, his grandmama raised them. And I took the liberty to go down there and to show my support and give them my condolences. Mm-hmm. And being not a hurt uncle, just a hurt human being. And I look her in her eye, and she looked at me, and I was like, "Hey, ma'am, how are you?" "I am." She said, "I know who you are. I can't believe you came." For any other circumstance, Donnie B, I would have never, if I was riding through this city and I started to get gas and I walked inside and I looked around, I would have turned around and drove off.
Wow.
My heart had to take me there. I had to look this young lady in her eye and say, "Ma'am, I am here to give you my condolences. I'm here to have your back. I don't care that you were counter-protesting 3 weeks ago. I don't care if you had a flag that held up all black people should go back to Africa, because that's not the person that I am here for today. I'm here for a grandmother that has to look at her baby boy laying in a casket because somebody took the liberty to be judge, jury, and executioner."
Wow.
So we got to stick together, just like the whole world made a decision that those guys had to get arrested for Perry. We can stick together and make a difference in the legislature by us sticking together. And she looked at me, Donnie B, and she's like, "Wow, Mr. Jones."
But I can't
believe it.
Well, I tell you what, man, thank you so much for giving us here at Stone FM your story, your testimony. It was definitely a powerful testimony that you talking to us about this. And I'm just so inspired, man. And I definitely want you to come back on the show in the future. If you got anything major coming up in the future, man, make sure you come on our show first before you get on any other TV.
We got some big things going, buddy. Between now and the second anniversary of George Floyd death, I can promise you, my brother, I will be communicating and talking to you again. And I'm going to be in Dallas because we're having a world thank you tour where we're thanking people all over the world for having our back.
Well, you know,
like I said, man, the world is a beautiful place. The grass is still green, the sky is still blue. It's just that some people in the world that have that hate-filled mentality are the people that we need to either deal with or move on with. And I'm a fan of moving on because I don't want to talk you into anything. If you can't see that people do not treat certain people equally, well, guess what? I reckon I don't need to talk to you.
Right.
But if you just know that there's a difference, and all people got to do, Donnie B, is treat people the way that they want to be treated, and we could be okay. We could be okay.
You're right.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Donnie B. I thank you. UK,
yes.
Don't always notice, UK, you will hear this old scraggly voice many, many, many times. And just know that we all can make a difference.
I want you to say
you made a difference to us.
I want you to say hi to John Williams and also say hi to my big boss, Craig, and Jada. She does the weather for our show. Say
John Williams?
Yeah,
Craig?
John Williams.
John Williams, Craig, you got a day off today, man.
Oh, he's still with us. He's just not.
He's still with you. Okay,
he's just not in the interview part.
Okay, I just love that. Craig
is
ain't no milk and no Kool-Aid. You ain't got the same thing at one time. I thank your cast.
Craig is one of the owners of the radio stations.
Oh, Craig. Hey, we need to talk. Craig, I need a job. Thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to use your platform to hear my voice, to express my thoughts and my opinions. And like I said, man, anytime you need Uncle Selwyn to come on to put a little live action.
Hey, I'm going to call you Uncle Selwyn then.
Call me Uncle Selwyn.
That's going to be my new name for you.
That's what I am.
Oh,
that's all I am. All I am is a sad black man and just an uncle that wants to wants to protect all the people, all the kids in this world, and
you can
make them live in a
and
better place.
you can call me nephew Donnie B.
Donnie B. I like Donnie B. I like that. I'm gonna say that all the time. Donnie B in the house. Oh, man, I appreciate you. And
Now,
like I said, anytime you want to chat, I'm always willing to chop it up, my man, because we cannot make a difference unless people hear what we got to say.
That's right. That's right. I tell you what, man, again, thank you so much. We're going to have a lot more coming up. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we got more music coming up. Old school. We are your number one for old school and classic R&B right here on what? Stone FM. We'll be right back.
We play your new and old R&B, funk, and soul.